Into that.
When you're used to well water, you can't
Okay,
go
we're
back.
running a little bit late. It is now 8:45. I call the meeting of July 3rd of the Carroll County Commissioners to order. First item is public input. Anybody got public input? Seeing none, we'll be right on schedule. Could we have the minutes of
Yep.
last week?
Let me see, I just,
Minutes of June
Oh,
26th.
oh, okay.
Are there any corrections to the minutes of June?
Yes.
Well, let's have a motion first.
I'll move to, well,
You move to approve the June 26 minutes, and I'll second it. Is that what you're doing?
I don't know, because there's
Some grammar corrections?
some corrections of substance that have to be made.
Well, in order to discuss it, to
Okay,
correct
I'll
it,
make a motion that we approve the minutes for
June 26.
June 26th.
I'll second the motion now for discussion of the minutes.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's start
corrections?
first. Gail, you ready?
Yep.
Page 2. 3 different kinds of therapy: occupational, speech, and physical. She showed a video and provided information on the subject. Kind of a picky point, but it sounds like it was Commissioner Kenney that made the showing and not the person from Genesis.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're at page what?
Page 2.
Okay.
Maybe I should put in there three different kinds of therapy were viewed on the
Okay, let me see
video
what it is.
by the company.
Well, you're the secretary, you can
Okay.
work it out. It just sounds like it was Commissioner Kenney that put the video on, not the person from Genesis.
Can
Uh,
I
I
write
would
next-
say that Commissioner Kenney reviewed.
So where are you? Can you show me?
Right at the top.
Because I don't see it.
Page 2 at the top.
Oh, okay, so I think,
Instead of 3 different kinds
Okay.
of therapy.
I think I have a different plan. Okay, let me see.
Next paragraph, Commissioner Sorensen reported that Will DeWitt, farm manager, collected 800 bales. I believe it was I that made that comment.
No, it was I. I made
Or
the
was it
comment.
you asked about the barn, and I said it was 800 bales? You
I did too.
did.
So, yeah,
Maybe I should put.
It's
Okay, I'm
both
gonna
names
give
on
you
it?
credit for it.
it's correct.
Okay,
Leave it
You
alone.
agreed with it. Yeah.
okay.
I don't have it. I think I left it downstairs. Would you need extra copies?
The next page, page 3, first
I
paragraph.
didn't have my printout at 11 o'clock.
Next page, first paragraph.
I
Yep.
don't have it.
You through, Commissioner Kenney?
Okay.
I don't have my minutes. I think they
You
are
didn't collect them from
downstairs.
downstairs?
I think, yeah, I look at it, and I think I left downstairs.
Was there
I think I
a
left
copy on your desk this
Yeah,
morning?
and I left it there.
What, from the previous
Okay.
week?
Well, if
Yeah.
you've
Yeah,
done your
Mr.
corrections, why don't you go down and get it?
Yeah, let's see. Oh, next time you can bring extra copies.
Yeah,
and
but
just
why don't
leave
you
it
get
there.
them
last
and
week?
No, this week for the public,
Hmm?
that we
Why don't
have
you
some here.
Pass it.
Oh, okay.
Let me see.
Let them correct them.
The public.
And then
Let me go
Okay.
get one, because I want to
Okay.
see what he got.
I went down there and I didn't see any.
They didn't?
I gave them attachments from last week and all I saw was the agenda
Oh, okay.
on their desk. If I had seen it, I would have grabbed it.
So what is happening, Mr. Chairman?
3rd page, you said?
Commissioner Kenney is going downstairs to get her copy that was on her desk. Apparently, she has not read them.
Now, I'm confused. What is she getting? Last week's minutes?
Yeah.
Or- okay.
Who knows?
June 19th?
No, June 26th.
I'm sorry, 26th. Minutes, okay. That's what we're looking at now.
You have June 20, You have June 19th minutes?
Yeah, somewhere. I thought we approved them last week.
I got June 12th. And the only one we approved that I'm aware of was May 1st. That was way back.
I've got a whole pile of paperwork here that's all mixed up that I'm gonna...
Good morning,
Good morning,
Commissioner.
Howie.
I have a favor to ask.
You want my picture?
I do,
Okay.
but with Kylee, actually. No, Kylee Rowell, our new RN,
Yeah,
will be coming over.
Okay.
And the favor is, can we get her in and out quickly?
yep, we can do
Yes.
that.
Because she's doing the med card today.
She's working.
She's working. so-
Good.
June 19th, there we go.
And Deb, can I see you later today? Yeah, I forget that.
That's the one you were talking about, right?
Yeah. Yeah, June 12th also, because I don't think June 12th was approved. And I forgot to look up in the,
We have the minutes from last week too, don't we?
That's what I thought you were doing.
No,
June 26th.
I get from, from 2 weeks ago. I believe we were going to watch or something.
okay.
Okay, so now I can put the corrections in. But you have moved to put the stuff.
Okay, can we go back to the minutes?
So you can go back to the minutes on June 26th.
Okay.
On page 1, 2, 3, right?
3, first paragraph, page 3.
At the top of the page.
The nursing education fund
Okay.
account is a source of funding to benefit the residents. Is that what we heard, or was it to benefit the education of the
Employees.
employees?
Oh, employees?
I don't know, I'm asking the question. I thought Howie's here. Howie is the, excuse me, David, you're the
Go
chair.
ahead.
Is the nursing education fund account to educate the residents or educate the employees?
We understand it to be the employees.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. I think the other fund, was it the Doobie Fund? I think that one is to benefit the residents.
The Doobie Fund is to benefit Mountain View
residents.
community.
Okay?
That's the only one that I actually have the original trust article for. It's not defined beyond that.
Okay,
Yeah, okay.
go ahead.
There was a lot of talk about funds.
Mr.
so-
Babson, go ahead. Further.
Well, this one is just, I think, the next one I can talk to Gail because it's just, the sentence doesn't make sense. Bottom of the page on that in that paragraph, Commissioner Babson asked Howie whether the budget in previous years was approved. That has to do with the pro share.
Pro share.
And what I asked Howie was whether we had included any money from ProShare in previous budgets.
The
Not
answer-
whether the budget was approved.
Yeah, the answer is no, but,
Did we include any money in pro share from previous years? Is that what you're saying?
asked Howie
I
whether the
can't hear you,
budget.
Gail.
You're saying, what you said, did we include any money in pro share from previous years?
Yeah.
No, did we include any of the ProShare money in the budget in previous years?
Right.
And the
Okay.
answer was no.
Paula has always budgeted a low amount.
No,
No.
no, it was never budgeted, because we didn't know whether we were gonna get anything at all.
Okay.
So it was never budgeted, except for this past year.
Or if it has been, it slipped by everybody all of these years.
No, it never was in the budget,
Okay.
because it could be cut out at any point in time, and we didn't want to get held saying that there was an income and we didn't receive it and make our budget look really bad. We'd have to make up for it somewhere. Okay,
Do you want to?
yes. We'll just take a break and take a picture here of, and Howie, you want to introduce her and tell us a little bit about her?
I do. Kylie, if you come forward with me.
Oh, wow. Just a second, I
Kylie, first of all, I'd like to introduce you to the commissioners, Commissioner Babson,
How do you do?
Commissioner
Hi,
Chair
Kylie.
Sorensen, and Commissioner Kenney.
Nice to meet you.
And this is Kylee Rowell. Now, Kylie has a wonderful story. In fact,
Kylie what?
Rowell.
Rowell. Okay.
Now, for the benefit of the camera, I'm going to ask you to turn around. Because what's wonderful about Kylie is Kylie started her healthcare career by taking a class as an LNA, doing the internship and training at Mountain View, coming back as an LNA, going back, getting her LPN, and then just recently, last week, finally passing her boards and is now a registered professional nurse. So
Good for
Kylie
you.
is a success story.
Is she an RN?
She's an RN.
Okay.
Good for
She
you.
is. She has now done the full gambit, which is wonderful, from LNA training to LNA to LPN to now RN. Congratulations.
Thank
Did
you.
we
Good job.
assist her in any way?
Do we assist you?
No, I worked per diem, so I was going
you
to
were
school.
per diem.
Yeah,
I see,
and working
okay.
at the same time.
Okay.
But we hope you're going to come on full-time, all the time.
Hopefully.
So
You
you're
know, this
still-
raises a good
Go ahead.
question. Let's say we have a per diem individual like Kylie, and is there some way that if they work here and we could prorate it and they go and graduate or from any higher level occupation that we can then reimburse them?
As long as they guarantee to spend, what is it, 2 years following their certification.
It's a little bit more complicated with per diem to structure
That's
something
why
like
I'm
that.
asking the
But
question.
it's not impossible. And in fact, it's something we should look at, because it's the kind of thing that we would definitely want to encourage and support.
Yep, yep.
Developing
And-
talent from within certainly makes sense.
And reimburse them after they've completed if they're a per diem.
Nothing the matter with that.
And do it. I just think it's wonderful.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Now, Kylie, with your permission, would love to get a picture of you with the three of these.
Well, you can stand right here.
Okay.
Good job.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Now, everybody's got to get in close and
Alright.
smile. Everybody's smiling.
Get in
You have,
close.
you have to look at, you have to look at me. You have to look at me. I'm gonna do this again. One, I'll get in a little closer. 1, 2, 3, smile. Now we're gonna get another one with Commissioner Babson without his hand in his pocket. There. That's 1, 2,
I'm not getting
3.
on your pocket.
Perfect.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Enjoy it working
Thank
here.
Thank you for interrupting the work part of your meeting to allow Kylie to get back to the med card, I understand,
Thank you.
today.
Yes, that's where I am.
That's really a nice story.
That is a good story.
That is a nice story.
Okay, we'll resume back with a correction of the minutes. And you're on what page now?
I gotta
Page
count.
3.
That's another thing, Gail. Could you figure out how on your computer to put the
some
page numbers,
pages.
please?
Oh, yeah, I thought I did. Okay.
I don't know if
This would
Maybe
be
when you
page
come
4.
Yeah, I thought I had it.
Okay,
it- or-
Another security camera has been installed at the front entrance. Estimates will be coming soon from East Coast Foundation. For what?
Yeah, I don't know what it, I don't read it, yeah.
I thought
think-
they were going to be looking at different prices for security cameras.
Howie?
I thought that's what I understood.
That's not with Mountain View.
Okay.
Bob put that camera, the price from East Coast Foundation is for a preliminary estimate on a pad for a garden, outside the garden area and back, as part of that whole
Oh,
process.
okay.
Okay, because that,
So maybe we should
that
take
comes
it
up
out then.
next.
Oh, okay.
Talking about the nursing home looking empty and talking about the gardens.
Oh, okay.
East Coast Foundation didn't have anything to do with the security camera, it had to do with the following
Estimates for
sentences.
pad.
Oh, okay. So
Pad.
maybe we should
Excuse me,
move-
Gail, you got to speak up. Yeah, East Coast Foundation has what?
The sentence, estimates will be coming soon from the East Coast Foundation, was the beginning sentence for the rest of the paragraph talking about the gardens. It had nothing to do with the security camera,
No.
right?
Okay, so maybe
Estimates
we
for a pad,
For a pad.
concrete pad behind the nursing home.
Correct.
Behind the nursing home. Okay. I'll
And that
add
should
that.
be a new paragraph. Next,
Go ahead.
must be page 5. And I must admit, Gail, on Commissioner Babson announced the second bid. That paragraph is confusing, but I was as equally confused as you. Bob, may I ask Bob a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
The minutes read, Commissioner Babson announced that the second bid was from Dri, and that's, by the way,
With the I, yeah?
it's an I at the end. Energy, which is the current supplier. Their bid,
It should be THEIR. Okay, I know I have that, I don't know how that got changed.
their bid was $219 a ton for a full truck. And it should be pellets delivered.
Yeah, I have that.
Mr. Chairman, we can't
Go ahead.
go on these minutes if it's going to be constant interruption here.
Okay, go ahead.
The bid was $219 a ton. Delivered was $575. A flat rate is charged for 20 tons or less. First of all, isn't it 30 tons?
The size of the truck holds 30 to 31 tons, correct?
Okay. So, Gail, that should be 30 tons. And
Wait a minute.
Yep.
There, I just want to understand this, because what I heard was their bid was $219 per ton for a full truck. A full truck was 30 to 35?
30 to 31.
Yeah, and then I put, after that, a flat rate is charged for 20 tons or less. Is that what
You
you
had the
said?
bids
Or is
with
it
you?
30
Yeah.
tons or
Yeah,
less?
Got the whole package here.
Is it 30 tons or less?
It's 6, 7, just bear with me a second. I'll find it.
it was something about you took the numbers and they had a full truckload and reduced them down at some lower rate, which I
Well, what-
haven't figured out.
What's the 575 mean?
That's what they could charge for delivery. That's
Ah,
correct.
Delivered charge.
That was last year's delivery charge,
What's this year's?
$625.
$625, okay.
Yeah.
This year, 625.
And then I asked the question, what happens if it was less? And you said something about it's divided out and added on to the ton, and that's how you got the ton price?
Yeah, I have that
That
all.
was very, very confusing. It's not, maybe we ought to attach it to the minutes because,
Yes.
copy of it, because I don't blame Gail, I didn't understand it
I thought I
either.
took good notes for that, but maybe I got the 20 and 30 mixed up.
No, I've since last week's meeting, I've had it clarified. It's in a response right from Sandry. It spells it out, answers your questions.
Okay.
Okay.
Should I
Thank you.
put C attachment?
All right, let's get back to the tonnage. Is it 20 tons or 30 tons?
30 tons.
30
Okay,
tons.
I'll change it.
30 tons or less.
Well,
Well,
no.
30 tons
No,
would be
30
the,
tons.
30
Just
tons.
30 tons.
just 30 tons.
The bid is based on a 30-ton delivery.
Flat rate charge for 30
They'll allow
tons.
us a window of basically 27 tons or more at that price. Anything less than 27 that we can
Okay.
accept, they adjust the price accordingly.
Okay.
So the flat rate is charged for 30 tons or less? Is that what you want to say?
Between 27 and 30 tons. It's based on a full truckload.
Okay. Anything that isn't full is charged at a flat rate.
Say that again?
Anything that isn't a full truck is charged at a flat rate?
A flat rate delivery charge,
And that would be 27 or less. Is that what you're saying?
correct.
Okay.
And what would that rate be? How is that calculated?
Deliveries of 27 tons or more, maximum of 31 tons, because that's what the truck can take,
Right.
will be charged at $219 a ton, delivered price.
Delivered price.
Delivered price.
Wait a minute, let me get these notes down. 219 delivered. Okay, thank you, Bob. Go ahead.
Deliveries of less than 27 tons will be charged a flat fee delivery charge of $625.
Okay,
Okay,
okay.
so it was 27, or less.
Because essentially, no matter how much we buy, they have a fixed transportation cost
Right.
that they have to recover somehow. And in order for us to benefit with the best price for pellets, we have to take a full load.
And they built that $625 obviously into the 31-ton delivery price.
That's correct.
Okay, that clears it up.
Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Babson.
Commissioner Kenney said that she called and emailed the sheriff for cash and handling policy, what all the commissioners got. What is that about?
Where are you reading?
Hold on, I'll count the pages again.
All right, we
Page
got
5?
we had received a report from the sheriff's department as to how they are handling their funds. And I think that's what she was talking about.
Okay, then that's fine. We got that here. And what does that have to do with Commissioner Kenney calling and emailing the sheriff?
Oh, I said to get the reports on the cash and financial procedures.
Okay?
And where is that? I don't have, is it page 6?
Are we on the same page or the next one?
Yeah, I don't
Right
know
here.
which page you are. Oh, okay.
And Gail, just for your,
Oh, yeah.
Gail, just for your information, it's Bonnet, Page, and Stone. It's not Bonnet Page. You wouldn't know that, having come up here from Massachusetts. It's
Okay, let's.
Bonnett, I believe,
I think you can put DBS.
comma, and Page and Stone.
Bonnet with a T. B-O-N-N-E-T,
I believe it's Ponnett,
T-T.
could be wrong.
And Page, P-A,
No, comma, Page
comma, Page.
and Stone.
How do you spell Page? P-A-G?
P-A-G-E, I believe.
Yeah, not just page.
No I in that one.
Bonnet, Page, okay.
Bonnet,
Yeah.
Page, and Stone.
And Stone.
Okay, what else you got?
I think that's it. Let me just check the remaining page. Yeah, I guess that's it. And then we had one question that there was no notation in here that a vote was taken on the June 19th minutes. That was, we agreed that we sealed the minutes at 2-1.
Right. The
Yeah.
previous non-public minutes, I made the motion, seconded by Babson,
You
to
didn't make,
reaffirm that they were sealed.
you didn't make any motion
I did.
to reaffirm that they were sealed. No,
I did.
you didn't.
Well,
You didn't make the motion.
you have to look at the tape.
I watched it,
Okay.
and you didn't.
I made the motion.
No, you didn't.
I made the motion, I seconded it, it was a 2-1
You
vote.
seconded.
No, you didn't seal it. I said it was not sealed, and you didn't, and it's on tape.
Okay, no
Did
further.
you watch the tape?
Just make sure it goes in the minutes.
No, we cannot just put stuff in the minute if we
I made
didn't
the
do it.
motion,
The motion for what?
that those non-public minutes were sealed, seconded by Commissioner Babson.
From which date? The June
Yeah,
19th?
watch again, it's not
It
there.
was the previous non-public minutes.
Yeah, June 19th.
That were
I don't
not
have the
sealed.
exact date.
They were not sealed, and you didn't seal them.
So, let's take a vote on what I should write in here.
I will watch it again. I already
Okay.
watched it, and it was not sealed.
Okay? Then with those corrections, would you pass those corrections to Gail so she can,
Well, I want to go over these
you want
minutes.
to go over it again?
I
Okay.
want to go over them with Gail.
And a motion been made and seconded that we approve those minutes as corrected.
Yeah.
Any further discussion?
I think we should hold off on approving it, Mr. Chairman. There's some,
You want to table it?
yes, please.
Okay. Then we'll table it. Okay, you got any other minutes?
Yep. I have non-public minutes from June 26 and June 12.
I believe those could be unsealed.
Well, one needs to be unsealed. What was the other one about? I have to read it. One from 12 can be unsealed.
Is that the 12?
What is the,
Yeah.
I don't know what the one is from last week.
You have any problem unsealing that one?
Nope.
If you want to read it, then I'll make a motion that we unseal the minutes,
June
non-public of June 12th, and open it
Second.
up to the public, and it's seconded.
Yeah.
All those in support of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Then so voted. You want to read the minutes?
Yep. Non-public, Commissioners present, Babson, Sorensen, and Kenney. Subject, interview minute takers for non-public minutes, hiring date June 19th, 2013. Motion, Commissioner Babson, hiring of Gail Lee for, well, should be Commissioner Babson,
Made a motion.
moved to hire Gail Lee for the flat fee of $125 a meeting and a $5 gas for
Transportation.
transportation to the county. Seconded by Commissioner Kenney, all in favor. Motion, Commissioner Kenney to come out of non-public and seal the minutes, seconded by Commissioner Babson, all in favor. Roll call taken. Commissioner Kenney, yes. Commissioner Babson, yes. Commissioner Sorensen, yes, at 12:30 PM.
Okay. Okay, what other minutes do you have?
Did you read the other one there? I need some signatures though.
It was just the regular minutes on June 12th?
No, those are non-public, but I gave you the other one. You get two,
Okay, I
you
got
get
it, I
two
got it.
sets of
David.
non-public.
Yep, I got it.
Now we have the 26th, right?
No. Well, I'm talking about the non-public minutes.
Make sure it's documented that those were released, okay?
Yeah. All the minutes that we were raising, we have to put in. Okay, so I'll put it down, so approve.
One correction here.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, can't do it in public.
Yeah, listen, yeah, if it is non-public, you cannot, but you can write it there. Can you write it in if you
Sure.
have a correction?
Sure. You check and make sure we got it right. Well, the content of this certainly is non-public.
You want to make a motion to approval?
Yeah. Let me see. Okay, I make a motion to approve the non-public minutes of June 26, 2013, and keep them sealed. Those minutes were sealed last week.
Okay. Second it. Any further discussion? All those in support of the motion say aye. Aye.
Right?
Then so voted. Do you have any other minutes?
No, I don't.
Would you go back and check to see if June 12th minutes were approved?
They were not.
They were not.
Do you have a copy there?
I have a copy here. Yep.
You have any? Do you have a copy of the June 12th?
Is that public?
Public, yeah.
I don't think I was here.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
not
no.
copy.
No,
19.
no,
You got the
you
June
mean,
12th minutes?
no,
No.
the June 12th, I approved the June 19th.
Okay, I don't have June 19th minutes.
Didn't we approve June 12th and not June 19th?
The June 12th are the non-public minutes, what we just approved and released. The June 19th are the public minutes.
Well, somebody just passed me June 12th.
I did.
Okay.
They were non-public.
All those were public.
All right, let's move on.
Reports.
A quick question regarding the minutes on June 26th. Commissioner Kenney, you stated that the commissioners violated their own policy because there's a majority vote needed to call a lawyer, and there are bills for thousands of dollars. I had asked you at that point in time to document thousands of dollars. How much was it?
Yeah, I
Do you
believe.
have any idea?
Yes, I look over the bills, but I didn't bring it with me because I believe we talked that we basically were going to cancel the meeting. There was a talk, so I don't have it with me. And I just got an email that we're still having a meeting.
Okay.
And I have it.
I
look
I would
over it.
question again that when you make a statement that there are bills for thousands of dollars, then we need to have documentation that there were thousands of
Yes.
dollars spent. Otherwise, it doesn't mean anything. It gives the impression that we spent thousands of dollars and we have no documentation for
The
it.
bills are right in the office, so, I mean, you sign them and you may have seen the bills.
Okay, then
So
would you
it
bring
doesn't
those
give
up
any
next week, please?
impressions. Yeah.
I believe you asked her to bring them up this week,
I did.
Mr. Chairman.
I did. Okay, let's move on to Howie Chandler.
How about the June 19th minutes? I thought we were gonna, those are the ones that had been approved.
I don't have them with me. Do
I
you have
don't
June
have, let's see
19th?
if I have a copy here.
Do you have any corrections on them?
Yes.
Go ahead.
I just have my notes.
I need a set of notes. No, I haven't.
I only have one.
What
I
is
know I
it?
have them somewhere.
On the first page, paragraph beginning, Commissioner Babson spoke in regards to the Cooperative Extension Advisory monthly meeting and the need for a home can begin. What I said was that something to the effect that it didn't look like they would ever be coming down here and we should be looking for a new home or a long-term lease from where we are or something to that effect. I just want to.
So how would you want to change it?
Monthly meeting and the need to look, to continue to look for another home, or the need to continue to look for another home. You don't need can begin or whatever.
Want to change it?
Just anything like that. It would just point out that they're not coming here, and if we're going to stay in North Conway, we need a long-term lease. If we're not gonna stay in that building, we need to look somewhere else. I think I suggested that at the monthly meeting, we discussed having Ann begin the procedure of negotiating a longer-term lease where we are.
I don't think it's a dead issue.
Well, I hope it is.
I think when the RFP goes out, hopefully we can get the RFP out today and get the square footage squared away. And in that RFP, it says if anyone has an interest. I know the delegation, one member of the delegation brought it up. He was new, didn't realize that Cooperative Extension was still interested or not. I think we should follow it up with the Extension Council to find out if they are, in fact, still interested in moving here.
Well, I can tell you they are. I was at the meeting and they're still interested, but
maybe they
but
need
the
to
idea that the university, whose budget's been cut by 50%, a little money, man, they're not about to front-load renovation of our building. Now, if we can work out something where we could take a bond to do it and offset the rent that we're paying up there and pay the bond, that might work, but
That's the
certainly the
only,
university's not gonna come in here and rehab any one of our buildings.
that's very true, and I think the only possibility is that we take out a bond for the $42,000 that we're paying a year for rent up there. And we would have to do that. But I would like to see another letter saying, after our RFP goes out, that they are still interested.
Okay, I will make sure
Okay.
that happens.
Okay. Howie, please.
So, no, I think we still need to approve them.
For what?
We need to
The
approve
minutes.
them.
Minutes,
For
okay.
May 19. I
Motion.
don't have my set with me, but I did read them, and it sounds accurate. So I make a motion to approve the minutes of June 19 with corrections.
Second it. All those in support of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So voted.
We don't do the commissioner's report, what do you have to say?
Not right now, we'll come back to it.
Good morning, Commissioners, and thank you for indulging me with Kylee coming over, for getting her in and out so quickly. She really is a success story.
Yes.
A few things to update you on. Census 102, 4 skilled. We had one scheduled admission that didn't happen yesterday, and sometimes that happens. But Jen and Lisa are working on a follow-up. You met Kylee Rowell, our newest RN, and I also want to express to you the appreciation to Commissioner Sorensen and Babson for the visit and kind words of support. And that was appreciated by staff. Item 3, Senate Bill 138 passed. Now, Senate 138 affects the county home. What it does, and there's actually copies attached, and I don't think there's anything for you to read, but I think it's starting on pages 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Senate Bill 138, you might hear different things about it. It has been supported by the Association of Counties. It's been associated by the affiliates of nursing homes, county nursing homes of the Association of Counties.
Mhm.
Some people will represent it as being something that's going to try to take money out of families to support those that are in county homes and nursing homes. That's not the intent from the county perspective. The county perspective is, and it hasn't happened to us, but it has to other county homes. Imagine a scenario where somebody has a power of attorney or a guardian, and they refuse to file the Medicaid application. The resident is there at the county expense, and the family member, the power of attorney, the guardian, is just either unwilling, unable, or incapable of following through with their obligations. This new law, this new RSA, gives the county and other nursing homes the opportunity to pursue it legally in a more straightforward way than was previously available to us. We hope that we never have to use it. We have very little trouble that way. Paula does an excellent job. Jen does an excellent job. The idea is to catch potential scenarios ahead of time before somebody's here to be sure that everything's in place. And we don't have the problem, but this is an added layer of protection. But in case something hit the paper at some point saying those greedy nursing homes are trying to take money out of the pockets of family members, that is not our intent at all, and nor do I think it's really the intent of any other nursing home.
Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Howie, do I understand you properly, if the people don't fill out, the guardian or the whoever is in charge of the individual or responsible for the well-being of the individual in the nursing home, that, of course, the government won't send the check for that person. In other words, we're paying the full freight on that individual.
Correct. And
this would, I haven't read the bill, but this would allow us somehow to force the guardian to fill out the paperwork so that
to hold them financially accountable.
Oh, okay.
So
That's even
now it
better.
actually essentially attributes a penalty and a responsibility. So if they do it, they could actually be going on the hook themselves personally if they have that authority and they fail to exercise it, theoretically could go after their house.
Okay,
Mhm.
sort of a incentive.
Exactly.
Paperwork.
Exactly.
Merrimack County has had a tremendous problem with that.
It can, and when you start talking, it can amount to hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Okay,
The gift card summary is actually attached, and that starts on looking at the upper right-hand corner, page 3.
Mhm.
Some of that will look familiar to you, because the changes really occur on page 4. Section C, under resident and special accounts, formerly called gift card. There actually used to be a gift card, and that's where the name came from, but it can be confusing. So we'll be changing that name to resident and special accounts. And Commissioner Babson last week asked for a breakdown of those accounts, and that is shown on page 5. And those are the actual accounts that we have. If you try to reconcile this with the general ledger accounts, you'll see the general ledger account is much greater, because that actually includes resident funds. It's money that's in the account, but it's not money that's owned or controlled by the county. So strategically, I've left that out, just to show the monies that are actually county funds, donated funds with special purposes. My plan is...
Excuse me, Howard, you said the gift card, did I just understand you to say it's not under the control of the nursing home?
No, the largest part of what was listed as gift card is actually resident funds, and they literally are not our money, but it used to be under the category of gift card. Now we're gonna call it, what it should be, resident and special funds. So
And
we
is
don't-
that what is now here as gift card?
Exactly.
And you're gonna call it what?
Resident and special accounts.
So it is changed?
Exactly.
Residence and special account. And when is it changed?
Well, we still have to work things through with accounting to do it, but right now it's still essentially, running it by you to be sure that it meets with your approval as a way to go forward.
And I believe that you said last week that a gift card have like 25 accounts.
Exactly.
And I see 16 here.
16 here. The other accounts that bring it up to 25 are actually inventory accounts, resident accounts, and petty cash and cash accounts. But of the separate funds within what had been the gift card, there are literally the 16 that are listed here. Some of which we're going to eliminate or reduce because they no longer serve a purpose.
So you noted that below. Petty cash.
And that's all in the report you have there.
I want to make sure I'm looking at the right thing. On the first page, gift card summary, that should be number 4, correct? The 4th topic,
On page,
the very first page.
very first page.
Oh, you
Oh,
put 2
you're right.
times to it, yeah.
I misnumbered that. That should be,
Oh, okay, that's number 4.
that should be number 4.
Okay.
But there's nothing major there, but wanted in the spirit of full transparency, want you to know exactly what's going on, but there are ways that we're, and also from the internal management part, and that goes back to page 4, because that had been less than clear, and I know you want full accounting for all cash, so we've created on the section C there, the resident special accounts will be overseen by a 4-person committee comprised of the administrator, the director of nursing services, the business office manager, and the activity director. And part of a good internal accounting control is being sure that nobody can ever write a check to themselves, nobody can ever handle things, so there's multiple approvals, and there's full accountability and full disclosure.
is there,
Howie,
go ahead.
Howie, right off the bat, I would say that I don't like that. I think that authorization for withdrawal shall be made by the administrator and at least one other member. We have 4 members on the board. First, I would like to either see 3 or 5, and I think that you ought to certainly have more than one member okaying the authorization to use the money.
Well, he says the administrator and at least one other member.
Right, and I think it should be administrator or 2 members or 3 members. I think 1 isn't enough.
That's certainly not onerous. I mean, that's certainly increasing the number of the committee, and and increasing the number of approvals is certainly,
I mean, I can
Certainly
see
reasonable.
somewhere along the line, where you're getting into a rat's nest here and you have to take a vote. And an odd number would work better.
Yeah.
That's, whether
So-
it be 3 or 5, I don't care. But I would like to see it, the administrator and at least 2 or more people signing the approval.
So you want 3 people signing the check? Is that what you're saying?
2 or more, might be 3, might be 4, might be 5, I don't know.
Or
But
signing the
anything more than 1,
or signing the
I agree.
authorization for the
2 or
check.
more,
There
2
should
or
be-
more.
There should be 2.
So there is no commissioners, one of those members?
No.
These are oftentimes relatively minor checks,
Oh, okay.
more of the petty cash. So this is not from funds that have been raised and appropriated by taxation. This is the old gift card money.
Is there any way that the number can be reduced? For example, what is the dinner club fund?
Oh, it hasn't been used.
There's only
in-
$65 in there, but
It has, there are some funds I want to reduce. I
the
don't-
Red Hat Fund, are we responsible for the Red Hat organization?
Well, from reports, it hasn't been used in years. Apparently, there were some members at one point, and the money was given for that purpose. The Mountain View Nursing Home AA that has $6.71 in it, I think just needs to be eliminated there. So the idea will be to consolidate. That'll be one of the first actions of the committee, will be to consolidate this into
All right.
into something that's manageable.
Okay.
But we can certainly, well, I guess I'm looking to you for direction. Certainly, it seems to be agreement to increase the number to 5, an odd number, does make sense.
Fine, yep.
But how many signatories would you like to have for
2,
2 or more.
2 or more? Okay.
at least 2.
Now we have a question. I believe that you reported last week that a nursing education fund was $6,000 in.
Correct.
And you have now $9,088, so that is,
And I took that off the same sheet, so let me just confirm, but I must have been mistaken last week, because this 9,088 is off the general ledger, and I confirmed that, so I must have been mistaken last week.
oh,
Maybe you read it upside down.
That could have been.
All right, what else you got?
Can I ask a question about
Go ahead.
this one, Steve? Howie, when you consolidate these, for instance, you have the resident forum fund and the resident council fund. I don't suppose you have any idea what the difference in those two are off the top of your head, do you?
Well, the forum was to bring in speakers, and the resident council fund was money raised for discretionary use by the resident council. In a situation like that, my recommendation to the committee is going to be to combine the two under resident council,
Yeah.
so the resident council would have discretion.
Okay,
The Red Hat, other funds like the Red Hat Fund, the Laundry Fund, I'd rather see go into either an arts or garden. There are some general areas, I think, that we could break down donations. Typically, it's going to be music, arts, and garden, so that we can earmark it for what the donor designates, but for a use that we're actually going to use, music funds or holiday funds.
okay,
Come back to us with a recommendation as to how you're going to combine those.
one last thing. The nursing education fund. I would hope you'd come back in here at some time and sit down and discuss that with us. Kylie is a perfect example of what we want around here, and yet she got no help because she was a per diem, and we've got to work out some kind of a program. If you're a per diem and proceed through and become a, whatever, I don't know what the ladder is, but if you become all the way up to a registered nurse, then we should be supporting this kind of activity.
Oh, it's a shame to have the
Provided
funds
you come
here.
back here and work.
Well, it's a
Yeah.
shame to have the funds here and not be actively
Right.
promoting and using them. So we'll do.
Okay?
Minor thing, item 5 on page 2 is the shrub replacement that I told you about.
Yep.
Bob has worked with Sam and
Only
Paul.
2, only 3 shrubs are going to be replaced?
Yeah, they're already replaced, it's all done.
I thought there were more than that.
What happened, the others come back to life, or what?
They seem to be green.
They remarkably, I wouldn't have bet on it, but nothing like having more rain than you need in a year to work it.
I
Oh.
hadn't signed any check for green spray paint, so the plants must have come back on their own.
If you can find any others that are questionable, you're certainly
Okay.
have more of a horticulture background than I do.
Well, it's very nice that the
Let me
people
know.
stood behind their contract.
It was.
Other things that we have under review, we're moving forward and pursuing Eden Alternative, which is as you know from the beginning, is a no-cost, it's more of a programmatic philosophical change in care. Not terribly different than what we're doing, but something that'll allow each neighborhood, not each mountain, but each neighborhood to be essentially self-governed and a little bit more flexible.
But Howie, the day I went to that meeting, as you know, I stepped in there just to see what it was, and I ended up staying 2.5 hours and listening to it because it was so interesting. There's a lot more to it than just having their own government. It was the individuals being able to eat on their own schedule, be able to eat their own menu, and it just seemed to me, how did it work? And the young woman that spoke assured us that in the places that it's tried, it has worked. So there's a lot more to it than just having their own government on
Oh, it is.
on the floor.
Oh, no, it is. In fact, I actually went to 3 days of training years ago for Eden Alternative. But the beauty is, most places struggle with the Eden Alternative because they have a physical environment that makes it really challenging. We already have the physical environment that makes it easy. We also have the attitude and approach that's going to make it easy. Many of you might not even realize, in fact, there'd be no reason for you to know, but, Rob Horace, our Director of Dining Services, actually makes available a flexible meal. We have a regular menu, but if somebody wants something different, they can literally call down for almost as though room service. And Rob has the insight to realize that very few people are going to do this, but for the people who do it, it's very, very important. And it's a wonderful flexibility that's already built in. But you're right, it's going to be a lot of different and little things, but none of the changes will actually require dollars. We don't have to change the building, we don't have to add staff. We do need to have staff be willing to change their job descriptions. And that's one of the biggest parts, is that it no longer will become a nurse-driven program. The biggest single change is the nurse becomes almost like a visiting nurse rather than the nurse manager.
Your patient, from what I could see, it was a patient-driven
Exactly.
program.
Which is
If
not,
they want to go to sleep rather than eat, they can do that. When they get up from their nap, if they want to eat, then they can do that.
exactly.
And it's like the clock has been thrown away, basically.
Well, and we're not that far away from it now, which is the wonderful part. But we'll be able to embrace it more fully, but we're doing it in gradual little steps rather than announcing that all of a sudden, as of September 1st, the whole building will change. You'll see it happen with just 12 residents to begin with. And then depending on how well that goes, it could, and I hopefully, and I believe that it will spread to include at some point the entire, all of Mountain View.
Okay.
Bob is looking at, we want to close out the construction process. We had some carpet that was installed improperly, and the best solution for us is going to be to settle financially rather than to replace it. They installed it wrong, and they know that, but it's time for us to close that out.
I thought we had settled.
Well, we had.
I thought it was done, that issue.
Well, I did, we settled on the multi-purpose room,
Okay.
but now the carpet company has come back and said that they threw their hands up in the air and said, we can't fix the hallway carpet. We can't manufacture it properly. That's what they said, believe it or not. And they're offering us to settle on the hallway carpet as well.
Okay. When is that gonna happen?
It can happen anytime, we just have to do it.
So
And
so.
basically, if that's all right with you, if that's the direction that you want us to go, we will pursue it.
Because we're otherwise happy with the carpet that's in place. It's not, it
Mhm.
was put in temporarily, but it's actually very desirable, so it's very satisfactory to us.
Okay.
The hall carpet, are you talking about both floors?
No, just the first floor, from
Oh.
elevator lobby to elevator lobby. There's a short section on the east side of the building between the main staircase and the east elevator lobby that has a temporary carpet squares put in its place.
Oh, okay.
That was the area that they couldn't fix. They couldn't manufacture the carpet properly. They tried at least 3 times to manufacture it, and every time it failed. So finally, they threw their hands up and asked us if we would want to settle on the entire first floor carpet. from elevator lobby to elevator lobby, so that's what we're gonna pursue.
Okay.
Item C, hearing aids, where all county homes are now reviewing their policies to see what it should be, and probably be a policy that we'll be introducing, at admission. Right now, it's unfortunately fuzzy. Counties have taken on responsibility for replacing lost hearing aids to a degree that doesn't exist in the private sector. And it's something that we need to look at, whether there are insurance options, but also identifying what is the reasonable responsibility of the county in such situations, because it can get to be very expensive very quickly and repetitive. Tech Soup is D. There's also an attachment, I forget what page, I think it's the last numbered page, page 11. Tech Soup is a group that makes available discounted and free software, and John Rich is using them to advantage to significantly save on the new server installation. That's the good news. The bad news is you introduce a third party, it slows the process down a little bit. So while he has the equipment, he's waiting, or he has the equipment ready to be ordered, he's looking for a confirmation on the software costs before going ahead.
Okay.
Farm Day, we're working with Will, and at a staff member's suggestion, I proposed to Will if there's any way that we can use the lawn area behind the new building, kind of next to the old building, it'd be wonderful for residents. Now, I say that not really knowing what the extent or how extensive Farm Day has been, but that back lawn area would be something that we'd encourage them to use for any part of the day. So, and he's been very good about being willing to
Okay.
take that into account.
Mr. Chairman?
Yep.
Can I interject something that's really not in the discussion, but I'd like to get on the video?
Yep.
I'm on the Farm Day Committee, and we are looking for anybody that would be interested in having a few sheep sheared on the 27th of July. So if anybody knows anybody that with sheep that still has their coat on, would they please contact Will or the business office so that we can make arrangements to have them come and get their sheep sheared. We have a professional sheep shearer coming, and doesn't do us much good if we don't have any sheep with fleece.
So you're looking for 3 or 4 sheep?
Yep, or more. The guy's quick.
Really? Okay.
Okay. Something to see. Flagpole at long last, and we're talking yesterday, finally got Keith to give us a definite on the flagpole. It came in under budget at $13.75, and that's actually upgraded to include that tilt base, because we actually had that flagpole, the light pole base already there. So it cost us a little bit more, but still less than the outside figure would. So right now, we're at about break even with the donation, with the electrical work that we have in place. It still leaves an expense of, Fred estimates, the electrician estimates, of not to exceed $600 for putting in lights, depending on how much lights and what we do. So right now, we're taking the flag up and down each day, which isn't a problem during the summer.
Yeah.
But we hope to get additional monies to be able to light the flag.
Okay.
The last thing that I have for you, shared with the senior staff today is, and it's somewhat related to different things going on in Washington, but we have staff members who are eligible for insurance, either partial or full, who can't afford to pay the deductible. And with your support, I'd like to see the county explore a kind of Plan B part of insurance for staff members, a budget neutral item. That might be a less expensive plan that would not require the co-pays. The county paying exactly the same, this would be an option, not to change it for those who have the existing, but something that, we have some people who are going bare. That is, they're going without insurance because they can't afford the 20%. So that if there were a way, and I know there has been with different programs and plans, for us to create another option that wouldn't be as nice of an insurance, but would be that much more affordable, it could be a good thing. And interestingly, Becky was explaining that this might tie in nicely with some of the requirements of Obamacare, with the Health Care Reform Act, that could require some things in any case. It's not going to require businesses to provide it, but it's going to require individuals to have insurance. So I'm thinking that if this is a no-cost option, it's something that with your blessing, it's worth exploring at the very least, and because I know we have perhaps more staff than I realize that are going without, who could otherwise have insurance.
Okay.
And that is all I have for you this morning.
Thank you.
Any questions? Hearing none, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Okay, Jason?
I have my-
I'm sorry. Since Howard's still here, you want to give us a report
Sure.
on your recommendation for the pellets?
Multiple copies there.
I never got a call back.
No. What you have in front of you is the recommendation for Sandry, for the reasons we talked about earlier. Sandry's price, we're all familiar with. Maine Woods Pellets also gave us a bid. But after doing my homework this week on the bids, it's come to light that Maine Woods Pellets is unable, unwilling, whatever word you want to do, to transport the pellets. So we can buy the pellets, but we have no way to get them here and into the silo.
Ah,
All my notes you have, feel free to share them as you see necessary. But the only bid that's viable is Sandry. Therefore, that's my recommendation.
Yes,
I have a, Mr. Chairman,
go ahead.
I have a question on what you have, which you have highlighted here, Bob. Deliveries of 27 tons or more, maximum 31 tons, will be charged at $2.19 a ton delivered price. That's what we discussed a little earlier. Deliveries of less than 27 tons will be charged a flat fee delivery charge of $625.
Yes.
Fine. What's the charge for the pellets for less than 25? It can't be.
$198.17 is on page 2 of that.
Okay.
and,
One what?
$198.17.
17.
That's
yeah.
on page 2, the page preceding which you have.
Page, I got page 2 here.
Well,
it's
all
on the
right, I
same.
guess it's labeled 1 of 3 because you have a cover page. Page 2 of the packet, page 1 of the
Oh, the email.
email.
Second page on that one. Right there at the top.
Oh,
Oh, it's highlighted.
And it's $566.50 plus 75. What's the $75?
That's just her math of where they came up with the fee. They came up with $641.50 for delivery charge, but they rounded it down for our benefit to $625. She was just showing me her math.
Okay. If you subtract 2083 from 219, that equals 198.17 ton. Net price less delivery, a penny difference. What are they talking about? You're assuming it's for less than,
Her math versus my math.
but you're assuming that's for less than 27 tons. It doesn't say that.
You have to go back in the email, it's there on the other pages. And of course, in any email fashion, the time starts at the back page and works towards the front page.
Okay, let's see where that is.
Reverse chronological order.
So what you're saying is, instead of $219 per ton delivered, it's gonna be $198.17?
That's the actual cost of the pellets.
Okay,
Because it was unclear in the bid what the actual cost of the pellets was. They gave us a price delivered.
Yep.
But that didn't answer my question if we've somehow needed less pellets, which I can't see happening, but I wanted to know what the
Yeah.
answer was if we did.
Okay,
So that's the math
Okay.
that shows the answer, what the actual cost of the pellets is. So if we do order less than 27 tons, it'll cost us the $198.17 plus the $625 delivery charge.
yep,
Okay.
And that's where the price will go up, is if we order less than the,
okay. You got all
But
your
my
questions?
point is, Bob, that I don't see where that's expressed in their contract. I understand what you're saying, it makes
Well,
sense,
they
but
haven't-
that's not in their contract.
they haven't presented a contract yet, they presented a bid. With my recommendation and your acceptance of the bid, I will formalize the contract for your signature.
Mhm.
Frankly, I would like to see you go back and have them send you an email that says exactly what we've just said, that
You
for
have
less
it.
than 20,
You have it in your hand.
well, where does it say that? I see all kinds of writing, but I don't see where it says that that's what it is. I see where you say it is, but I don't see where they say it is.
I'll highlight it as her response.
Where is that?
Anything that's highlighted is her response.
Okay,
Well, actually, my question is highlighted as well.
and where does it say that's their charge?
Page 1 of 3 of the emails. That top line.
Where? Either I'm numb or I just don't see it. Where does it say
It
that for
explains-
less than 27 tons, we will be charging you $198.17 a ton plus the $625 delivery charge?
Well, on page 2, deliveries of less than 27 tons will be charged a flat delivery charge of $625.
Okay, but it doesn't say
So
what
the
they're
net,
gonna charge you.
my next question was, so the net price of the pellets, less delivery, is $198.16 a ton. Her response was, back on page 1, freight was calculated, blah, blah, blah. We rounded the freight charge down to $625, which equals $20.83 a ton.
Right.
If you subtract $20.83 from the $219 bid price, that equals $198.17 a ton, net price, less delivery. I mean, with all due respect, I can get it clarified further.
Well,
for you.
when you write your contract, I want to see that it says for less than 27 tons, they are going to charge us $219 a ton
Mhm.
plus $625 delivery.
That's fine, I can,
And that takes care of that.
Okay, you two work it out.
yep, when they do the contract, I'll have what you asked for.
Okay. Well, then I make a motion that we accept the bid from Dri Energy of Greenfield, Mass. I don't think we need to go into the specifics, that'll be in the contract.
Second it. Any further discussion? All those in support of the motion say aye. Then so voted.
Was it 2-1 or 2-0, 3-1? 3-0.
3.
Okay, take care of it, Bob?
Will do. And I've done some calculations, some math on the old nursing home measurements.
You know what we
Stephen, would
need?
you like a copy? We've got copies here, Bob. The public doesn't have them. Did everybody bring theirs up?
What we need is
The
the
map.
measurements of the rooms that were taken out. You did the others, except for maintenance. Like the pellet boiler room, do you have a figure for that?
No,
Square
because
footage.
I didn't include the pellet room because I assume we're keeping that and that's irrelevant to the bid process. I did the measurements for the rooms that were going out to bid.
Okay.
And so could you explain your figures here, just so we have them right? There is, in the front section,
Mm-hmm.
there's 600 feet, that's the glassed-in area, the solarium, I would assume.
Correct.
There is 2944, which is what?
2944 is the measurement from the Director of Nurses' office. There's a set of double doors right there,
And that would-
forward.
And that would be where, Bob? Right here?
Correct, right there, that dark line.
Okay,
If you look over to the right, I broke down that back set of offices from the front wall, and I'm assuming that where it says 92 feet, that wall that's just above that is the proposed detachment point. If they chop off the front of the building, that's where it's
Right.
going to be.
Yep.
So that's why I separated that from the offices in the rear.
And
However, if it gets rented out, those offices that are on the other side of that 92 feet will be part of the rental. But I just broke down the square footage so you could see what was where.
okay, so one of those areas is 92 by 32 feet?
Correct.
92 by, and that's 3,500?
Hallway forward,
Yep.
Okay, and that's 3,544 square feet,
more or less.
more or less. The next section back is 92 feet by 16 feet?
Correct.
Okay, and that's gonna be 14, okay, I see how you're doing it. So that's a total of 5,016 feet in that area.
Correct.
Okay, now I'm with you. How about the back?
You have 2870 square feet
Okay,
of old
and
commercial kitchen, and then the dining room, which I'm gonna fight tooth and nail to keep for myself, is 2,070 square feet,
so a total of 4,940.
more or less.
Can we be real gentlemen and ladies and round that off to 5,000 square feet?
Works for me.
That makes it easier for the math.
Okay.
So basically, we've got 10,000 square feet that we either want to lease out or take down. Is that correct?
Well, we is a relative term. I certainly don't want to take it down,
Well,
but, yes.
Let's say the delegation would like to take down.
Yes. Yes, and I could very easily put the dining room to use for my own.
And what was the total square footage of this core area? It was 15,000, right?
It was estimated by EGA to be 15,000 square feet.
Okay, so the area you're saving is also 5,000 square feet.
Yeah, preferably 7,000 square feet, but at the absolute minimum is 5,000.
Well, then the figures don't add up. If we've got 5,000 in the back, 5,000 in the front, and it's only 15,000, that only leaves you 15,000. Oh, somewhere 2,000 more feet have come into the picture.
Right, the dining room.
Well, I guess I'm confused, Bob, because you have here, commercial kitchen, 2,870.
Mm-hmm.
You have the dining room, 2,070.
Mm-hmm.
If my math is correct, that's 4,940, which we all agree, for 60 square feet, we could call that 5,000.
Right.
So we got 5,000 in the back.
Yeah, my only point is, you're talking in the RFP of leasing that whole space in the back out.
Yes.
I'm telling you that I'm gonna be lobbying for the dining room for myself.
Mhm.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll find
I'm
out if
saying
there's
to
any
you
interest.
that it's 15,000
Yeah.
square feet for the building according to Bonnet, Page, and Stone.
Mhm.
If we've got 5 in the front, 5 in the back, then we only have 5 left for your maintenance
Yeah,
and laundry and,
That's about
other-
right.
But then you said it could be 7,000. Where are those 2,000 feet coming from?
Dining room,
That you want to keep.
that I wanna keep.
For yourself.
Correct.
Okay, okay. So we'd be taking away 2,800 in the back
Mm-hmm.
and keeping roughly 7,000 for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that explains it.
You got it
Thank
squared away now?
Yep, I do, thank you.
So we can rewrite the RFP and get it
Yes,
out this week?
Yes, yes, yep.
Okay. Thank you, Bob.
That's all I have. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you.
So that'll be 30,000 then? If you count the 4 wings and 10 of them core, the RFP will be to lease up to 30,000 square feet?
20
That's
and-
right.
20 and 10, yes, 30.
Okay,
Did you get
Jason?
this copy, Steve?
yes, I did, yeah, thank you.
Can I say something quick? Quick comment?
Morning.
Right after him. Go ahead, Jason. We held you here long enough.
Mr. Chairman, can I just have a quick point of order before you move on? That packet that Mr. Chandler gave to the commissioners for his presentation today, is it okay to release that?
It's
A
coming
copy
in,
of that to the public?
it will be in the minutes
Yeah.
for next week.
Is that a yes? Is it okay, or there wasn't anything in there that,
No?
No?
okay. Thank you.
Good morning. The population this morning, 49 in-house. We have 4 weekenders, 1 on electronic monitoring, 8 transfers, 1 out on pretrial release, total population of 63. Took
How many?
in 63.
63.
Took in 24 inmates last week, 17 were repeaters, and released 24. And then today I'm going to be sending an inmate out on administrative transfer to Stratford County for housing problems. Actually, that transfer is underway or has been completed at this
He's
point.
our inmate.
He's our inmate, we're sending him to Stratford.
He's our inmate.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Mhm. That's all I have for report today.
So if there's just a transfer, you don't get another inmate back?
We're holding 2 for Stratford.
Oh, okay.
They have 1 down there, so I'm sending another 1.
Oh, okay.
How many do we have of theirs?
2.
We have
We have
2?
2 of theirs.
2 and 2?
Mhm.
Okay. Do we have any others out anyplace else?
On the population report, Commissioner, and the transfers, it'll tell you where they're at. I have a couple at the state prison. I have one
Are
at,
they going to be there permanently?
well, we're holding them there for a while, yes.
Okay.
And then I have one at a rehab center. On the population report, it'll tell
Okay.
you where they're at.
Okay. Any questions?
Can I get copies of both of those documents?
Well, the other one, I think,
Do I need
it's,
the other?
I
the
think-
other one not, because I think that name's in, so that doesn't go in the minutes. Only just the attachment.
I got a question for
That
Jason.
one, I think, should be destroyed because there's names on it.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep. Ask him a question?
Go ahead. Yep.
Jason, why do we have New Hampshire State Prison people here? Is this sort of a interim stop before they go back to the general?
No,
Back out
we
in
hold
public?
them, we'll send, for example, we have a couple of people down at the state prison.
Just
So if the state prison needs to send somebody out, we can accept them from the prison as well. So it's an administrative transfer.
So are these people that have been problems in the state prison and they're sending them here?
The state prison has requested housing outside of their facility for one reason or another.
And we do, and if we get any, can we send somebody that's in our jail that's not behaving properly? Can we send them down to the state prison?
Yes,
Or is
sir.
this a one-way swap?
Nope,
No.
nope.
Okay.
And again,
I understand the counties we swap back and forth, but
Yep.
I didn't realize we did with the state prison as well.
Correct.
Just-
There are certain
just-
criteria that has to be met in order to get into the state prison.
Okay.
But we do have some people down there.
Anything else?
No, sir. You have me on the
Quickly
agenda
for,
for
I'm
non-public.
sorry. Yep.
Yep.
Anybody have any reports to give?
Yep,
What's your report?
I have a couple notes here. There has been some questions about a comment that I made in a letter to the editor last week's newspaper. For the record, it was directed at an employee who stole $11,000. And my comment about adult supervision was in reference to my belief the county needs a full-time administrator to oversee the day-to-day operations when the commissioners are gone. It was not directed at any one individual, and I hope my comments were not taken out of context. That's it. I have no further comments.
We've had
And this needs to be
We've had
destroyed, you
people
said?
complain that it was an insult to have adult supervision for nursing home people. We, I believe, have proper supervisors in all areas of the county complex. I think it was not called for to have an adult supervisor in the way it was interpreted. I think we need to be careful when we put things in the paper that it doesn't cause harm to the employees that work for us.
Mr. Chairman?
Go ahead.
For the record and for the for other employees, I want it understood that Commissioner Kenney's comments, which I consider very belittling, demeaning, and insensitive about our employees, who are the reason that we are doing such a good job here, in no way represent my feeling, and that I just don't see how we can continue with trying to move forward with a constant resistance from one of the members of this board, and I would like to respectfully request that she resigns so that we can move forward in a much more efficient manner. These comments in the paper, she can come in and apologize. She should have read it before it was printed, and I think it was disgusting.
I agree 100%. Commissioner Kenney acts on her own. It's not the spokesperson for this board. And let it be known that unless it comes from the majority of the board, then it's only on the commissioner's own responsibility.
I can write my own letters. That is freedom of speech. And I think Commissioner Babson wrote the letter too. And I responded to the letter, what happened, the $11,000 money stolen. And I think we take it out of context. A lot of political games are going on. And Commissioner Babson make a comment, I need to resign. There's no reason to resign. I'm elected by the voters of Carroll County. And I do have a taxpayer calling me, and I said he need to file a 91A. He wants to have the email, what was a non-public session about jail security, that Commissioner Babson released, at that time he was a state rep, to the public, to Henry Spencer.
What is the request?
Your non-public email that you released to Henry Spencer
About what?
about the non-public session about jail security.
I don't believe I ever did. Do you have any proof? Would you bring those minutes up and show me what was in it?
You
what we're
have,
talking
you
about?
have that email, and you said your losses, and I sent it back to you, so you have it. The only complaints what I was hearing this week is about gum wrappers that hit, excuse me, that hit the newspaper, and that we have two commissioners here only complaining about gum to wrappers and never actually address the issue that $11,000 is stolen and how it is stolen.
We addressed the issue, we signed a letter which you refused to sign, Commissioner Kenney.
Yeah,
That's
because
correct.
I have my own letter, and I explain why I didn't sign it. I
And where
don't
did you
have
put
to
that
sign
letter?
it.
Where is that letter? Nobody has ever seen it.
Listen, it is not in the commissioner's preview that we have to sign a letter and send the letter to the judge. We don't have to do that. Can you show me where it is that we have to do it? We don't.
Nobody said we have to do it.
Yeah, but so.
We
but-
did it.
But yeah, you did it, because we have a county attorney bringing a sample. And she said we can sign it or not, and I read it, and I give my explanation in the paper why I don't want to sign it.
Commissioner Babson, you want to?
No, I was just wondering what letter she was speaking of, and she just
Okay.
answered the question.
Okay,
I've said my piece.
I'll open it up. Any further reports?
No.
If not, Mr. Brown, you had your hand up. We're now in public comment.
Who pays for the transportation from the county jail to the state prison?
We do,
We do?
in our vehicle.
Mr. Chairman?
Go ahead.
I think we
Correct me
should
if I'm
ask
wrong.
Jason. I can't believe that if it's a state prisoner, we're going down and get it. I think the state brings it up here, but I don't know. I suspicion they do. If we're taking one of ours down, we pay for it.
Yeah.
But the state covers if they send one up here?
Is that true, Jason?
Or do we send someone down to pick up a prisoner from the state, if the state's sending one up here.
Correct. The state transportation department will bring them up to our facility.
And to go one step further, if we have any medical issues with a state prisoner, the state pays for it. If we have an inmate in Stratford County and has a medical problem, we pay for it. Okay, go ahead.
We discussed last week about the Primex premiums for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
You were gonna get me that information?
I'm sorry I didn't get it. I will go and get it this afternoon,
That's right.
as well as the auditing. I failed to look at the last 5 years and the reports as to whether Mason and Rich actually are auditors. That's in our annual report, and I'll look that up also. Go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, I think the question, that's who that gentleman was working for, that's right. I was thinking of the other people.
Yeah.
Mason and Rich or what. Aren't they certified public accountants? Aren't they the one, the two that Mr. Daniel mentioned that do municipality?
Yeah, yep.
What we were questioning was the gentleman that comes in and John, somebody, I think his name.
John
is.
Lyford?
John Lyford.
Yeah.
That was the question, whether he was an accountant or
Yep. Yep.
auditor
He is
or
not.
whatever.
Because I talked to him, and I talked to Mason and Rich too, and they used to do municipalities, and they stopped doing that. So they didn't do any audits here in 2010, 11, or 12. John Lyford used to work there for Mason. He is retired a few years ago, and he is just writing financial statements. And I asked him if he's an auditor, and he said he's not. He's just preparing with Getty financial statements. I'm still trying to figure out who is the company that did the audit in here in 2010, 11, and 12.
Okay.
Because you said there is another company, that's the law, that audited John Lyford.
And that, from my understanding, Kathy Geary told me that that is also going out for bid throughout the state. There's only a couple of those that do, I don't want to say monitor, but check and audit the auditor.
So we're going to put for bid now out for audit 2010, 11, and 12?
I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is that a RFP is going out to audit as a requirement by law that the person auditing our books has to be audited by state, by law.
But
That's
in
a new law.
2000,
It's a new law within the last couple of years. Yep.
in 2010 and 11, there's no audits done in 2012.
Okay. Any further public comment? Melissa?
On a couple of occasions, I've been told that this is a public comment period, not a question and answer period, so I'll try to keep it to comments.
Thank you.
The first comment is I would like to say thank you to Commissioner Babson. On May 15th, I stood over here and I asked that the commissioners do the non-public meeting minutes if the clerk wasn't going to. And that afternoon, Commissioner Babson did the non-public meeting minutes, and those were approved at last week's commissioners meeting, I believe it was. And I'd just like to say thank you and at least recognize when something goes in the right way.
You're welcome.
Secondly, I wasn't here last week, but I watched the tape, and I was very dismayed at the fact that Commissioner Kenney called the right to know suit across the street a bogus investigation. I don't think that the people exercising their rights to what is rightfully theirs is bogus in any way, and it's unfortunate that we had to go to that point. But on the good side, I'd like to point out that since filing that suit and dealing with the documents and that right to know suit, I've since requested 3 other things from the complex from various departments, and I got them all in a timely manner. I would encourage the Board of Commissioners to move forward with the right to know policy and procedure that's being suggested by the HR department, so that when we're all gone, the people that follow us will know how they can access their government and what will be expected on both sides. So if you would deeply consider what's being proposed, I think that would be beneficial.
I'm sorry, I didn't follow you. What is being proposed?
I know I'm talking really fast, it's that
What
southern
is being
thing.
proposed by who?
The HR department came.
A couple of weeks ago.
HR, okay.
A couple of weeks ago, Deb Newland brought
Okay.
that policy and asked that the commissioners consider the procedure for
gotcha.
right to knows. Okay.
Yep.
So,
Melissa, excuse me, I also came across your form that you showed us that I forgot to copy. I was gonna give each one of them. Take a closer look at that.
Okay.
thank you. That was one of my suggestions. You seem to have a problem with whether minutes were sealed or not sealed and non-public, and if you had a checklist and you went by it, some things could just be taken
Mhm.
care of pretty easily. The delegation is meeting again this summer at some point. Is
I
that?
believe it's in September
Okay.
15th, I believe,
September 15 is a Sunday, so
Oh.
maybe the 16th.
whatever.
Whatever.
That would be summer, Mr. Chairman.
Sometime before fall. The question has come up about the lifts at the nursing home, and I don't remember it being discussed at the delegation meeting about installing lifts in all the rooms, but I would ask that you bring that to the delegation for them to decide whether or not.
Oh, the lifts.
And not just rely on the chairman of the delegation to make that decision, it's not hers. And lastly, I just wanted to address the adult supervision comment in the letter to the editor. I'm not sure if what we just heard from Commissioner Kenney was an apology or a deflection away from what those two words really did to the people that work here. I didn't take her apology, if that's what it was, as sincere, and I don't think she understands the impact of what those two words meant for the people that work in this county. I know you've heard from people, I've heard from people, and it's one of the most demoralizing things I've ever seen in print in a letter to the editor. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to have my comments. I think it is taken out of context, but about that subject, I have no more comments. But I do want to comment on the first thing you said, Commissioner Babson taking non-public minutes of May 15. Yes, he did, because May 15 I was absent, and I sent a couple times the emails and asked for the non-public record so I can store it. So after a couple weeks, he did type something up, and he gave it to me. The second thing, you was talking last week about bogus investigation. I can remember that I make a comment about that. You file a suit, but in my opinion, there was not any violation of the 91A, because in 5 business days, you get a response that we're working on your 12 items, and you had already 5 items, and it took a little bit longer to get the rest of the items.
I will,
Go ahead.
are we going to go back and forth here, or you got something new?
I just had one more comment that I forgot that she just
Okay, go
reminded
ahead.
me of. On 3 separate occasions, I've asked about Commissioner Kenney's attendance record, and I was told I'd be provided with something in writing as to where she was, and I just wanted to make note that I haven't received anything yet. I did notice in the last issue of our paper that she received some sort of Republican Leadership Award. I'm not sure what it's exactly titled, but it indicated that the group selected that participated in this program traveled to Washington, D.C. May 14th through the 16th, so I'm not sure if maybe she was in Washington, D.C., and that's why she wasn't here that day, but it's a common courtesy to let your other board members know whether you're in Wakefield or in Washington and why you can't be at a meeting.
I did. If I'm absent, I always let them know. They did get notice. And it's not that they never get any notice. They did get notice.
We were not informed that day, Commissioner Kenney.
It's
and that's why-
questionable. I don't want to get into an argument, but we were not informed. Second thing,
You were
Melissa, that
informed.
you have said, I want the taxpayers to know that the 91A, for no better term than court case, is going to cost the county some dollars for attorney's fees. We haven't got the bill on that yet, but there will be a cost involved in that. At this point in time, since there's no further input, we need to go into non-public session.
That is important.
Ed has his hand
He
up.
has,
All right, Ed, we'll let you do it.
I just want to make myself clear. What caused the 91A law, 91A suit, was the fact the 91A process was not followed. You're supposed to give specific times when things are supposed to be answered. That was not done. It is good that you started a process, but it is unfair to say that it was a bogus claim that the 91A requests, that the whole thing was a bogus claim. That's incorrect to say that. And it is the commissioner's responsibility for the fact that the money has to be expended from the taxpayers' fund. And the way to fix this is that whenever a violation occurs, I believe you shouldn't have to use the insurance. I think you personally should have to pay the legal fees. So not the taxpayer. That's my comment. Thank you.
That's your personal view and not the personal view or the view of the board.
Correct.
When my name is mentioned, I assume that it was mentioned because I'm chairman of the board and it affected the Board of Commissioners and not me personally. Therefore, I shouldn't pay the attorney for representing the board. You have a comment?
Yes, I just want to make it clear, Ed, that I didn't call it a bogus.
And I didn't either.
And Mr. Sorensen didn't call it a bogus account.
So
And
I
you
don't.
addressed, excuse me, I have the floor, Commissioner.
Oh, sorry.
And I felt you were addressing all of us, and I just want to make clear that I didn't make the comment, and neither did Commissioner Sorensen.
Correct.
I
The
don't
the
know
comment
what
that
the
you did make
comments.
is that it's going to, you have to make it clear on film that the taxpayers are going to get that there's a cost to the taxpayers. And I want it clear that the cost was incurred because of the policies that do not exist in the county. So that's my second comment.
That's your personal feeling.
That's correct.
I didn't say a
Thank you.
bogus claim. I said there was no violation of the 91A. That is what I said. So I don't know how we come on the word bogus.
In which
So-
case, the court dismissed any and all charges from the plaintiff or the defense. And so it was, the hearing was discontinued. Mr. Brown, I'll let you go. This will be the last one. Go ahead.
Okay, the easiest solution to all this is just for the county to abide by RSA 91A. There's specific time periods that have to be met. There's certain things that have to be met by certain time. That's the easiest part, and not to mention that it clearly states in RSA 91A is that in this example, the county is not allowed to consider the cost of putting together the 91As. So you clearly can't say that that suit is the cause of the taxpayers being charged attorney's fees. Because it clearly states in the RSA that you're not allowed to consider the cost of putting these 91As together. So if the 91As were done according to RSA 91A, there would be no cost to the taxpayers. Or there should be no cost to the taxpayers. Because the RSA doesn't allow you to do that.
My last comment on that is that our attorney has told us that we have done nothing wrong, that we followed the law, that we requested an extension, and that was done. That's the last comment that I would have to say. At this point in time, I'd like to move into non-public session with Jason.
I'll make a motion, we go move into non-public session to discuss.
For what?
Oh, he's getting to it. Go ahead.
Jeez, can somebody finish around here? I'll make a motion that we go into a non-personal, non-public session to discuss security issues at the jail
Under 91A.
on the 91A. A, B, C, D, and E, or whatever the one we're working on.
Okay. Roll call?
Yeah, I said a second, so I second
Second?
then.
Okay, go ahead. You second it.
Okay, roll call, Commissioner Babson,
Yes?
Commissioner Sorensen.
Yes.
Commissioner Kenney.
Did you say yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I don't hear you
let me
vote.
put a time. No, use the microphone. Yeah.
We're into a work session.
Oh, I was going to tell the work sessions.
Just, I do not.
Okay?
Do you have the time? I gave it to you, I said,
Let me see if I can
what did I
find
say,
mine.
10:57? Yeah, if we have the time on that, very good. Very good, thank you. Okay.
Want me to lead off, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, go ahead.
Very simple one. Gail, on your minutes, I don't know whether, I'm not a geek.
On all of them, or?
No, it has got nothing to do with the content. Is it this big on here because of your computer or mine?
No, because I figured you guys probably can't see my tiny, tiny type, so I make it bigger.
Okay. Well,
Do you like it big, or
I could go for a little bit smaller.
you want a little smaller?
And I could go for front page and back page.
What? You want me to use double-sided?
Yeah,
When I,
Oh, two-sided, yes, yeah.
two-sided?
two sides rather than one side.
Okay.
I mean, as it is here, Gail, I think I got pretty near 10 pages.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when I first did it, it was actually only 5, and then I increased the font. Okay.
Since we're old and blind.
Number one, which I think you got on your list, is
Yep.
that we need to get the minutes all done and not have just notes. They need to be typed, and I believe, Asher, you have some that are notes that are not in a
Yeah, I have
tight
a
format.
record of every non-public session. I have all those records.
Okay, we need to have those
I
minutes.
have it in handwriting. I think it needs to be typed, but I wrote down all the motions, the subjects, when we start, all the stuff I have from every non-public session.
Okay.
And what about the public sessions, Mr. Chairman, where we haven't had any secretary until Gail came to work here 3 or 4 weeks ago?
Yeah, well, we had Cheryl Laurent was helping out, and I want to thank
She
you
did
for her
at least
doing a
2
good job.
weeks.
At least 2 weeks. yeah.
She did a couple of the public minutes, and we have now Gail taking over the public minutes, and she's going to do also the non-public minutes.
Okay. So when do you think those minutes will be updated and completed? Within the next 2 weeks?
I have no time, but I'm working on it.
Well,
I'd like to know,
I hope
because of
it
the
makes-
heat we're getting on Facebook for where these minutes are, I'd like
What
to get a
Facebook?
commitment from
How is
Commissioner Kenney
Facebook?
when they're gonna be done.
How is Facebook? I don't understand. What are you talking about?
Well,
I
You're talking
don't,
about Facebook?
I don't look at
there's a lot
Facebook.
of chatter on Facebook about where the minutes are for these various meetings. I'm just saying it's there. The law says we've got to have them. Where are they?
Yeah. Well, we have them, and
We don't
They
have
are-
them.
yeah, we have the non-public records. I have them, but they are also sealed. So anyway, we cannot give them to the
But
public.
Where are the
Wait a
the
minute.
public meetings that have went on for here for 6 or 8 weeks while we didn't have a secretary or a clerk? And first you tape recorded some of them, and then you were gonna take notes and give them to them. Where are they?
They're coming, Commissioner Babson.
When?
Couple weeks.
They need to
A
be,
few weeks.
it needs to be your
Yeah,
priority because
I'm
you
going
are
to-
responsible
I'm
for
going
them.
to. I'm responsible, once again, if you read the law, you look it up, I'm responsible for storing them. It is not my job that I physically have to type them, and I did it for a long time. And I
Well-
did the minutes for a long time, but I don't have to do it. We have now a minute taker, and she's going to do it now.
In the
Okay.
That is what's
1800s, keep was
sketches by the
meant
two
you would
commissioners.
write-
Okay, wait a minute, we get too many talking here. Let's set a priority, and let's get those minutes done,
Yep,
okay?
So you're talking
And
about,
let's have some next
Public.
week and some the following week to
yeah,
get caught
every
up.
week we have some.
All
Okay,
right.
good.
Okay,
Next on my list,
Go ahead.
Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, most weeks, I come in and sign checks along with the treasurer and one other of the Board of Commissioners. And each week, there's, one of the commissioners refuses to sign 4 checks from 4 different people, for 4 different people. I would like to suggest, and we don't need a motion, we don't need a second, that if you're not gonna sign the minutes, you're not gonna sign the checks, excuse me, that you attach or post them or some reason to the checks why you're not gonna sign, why you are not gonna sign them. Every week I look at them, I go through, it's about a 2-hour job if you do it properly. I look them, I set them aside, I write down a note on them, what's the problem, and then I go see the head of the department and try to find out why the situation is what it is. And to have to get a call, come up and sign 4 because somebody doesn't want to sign them isn't right. Put down your reason for not signing them, and then, or let somebody know you're not going to sign them so they can be signed when we're here.
Yes, I have a comment on that.
No doubt.
I get also every time the checks on my desk, and when I look to them, I'm the only one sign some of them. Other commissioner doesn't sign it, and a bunch of them were signed by another commissioner. So I have the same issue.
Wait a minute. Say that again.
I said I get also sometimes some checks,
Yeah.
but it's not signed. I'm the only commissioner that signed those checks.
You may be the
But
first
it-
one that gets them.
No, but the other checks are already signed. It's all one signature on.
Then-
And
then-
some
then
are not
somebody-
signed.
One of the two of us missed one check, it get tagged into another one.
Okay,
Should be
That
the
happened
only
twice.
reason,
Wanna
because
bring
I
it up?
sign all my checks.
I don't know if they oversee it, or if they don't want to sign it, or if it is an issue with the checks.
Well,
Sometimes I hear once in a while, business office, somebody said, oh, we have to check up on that, or something is
Well, that's
going.
true.
Don't sign it, and we put those
But
here
it-
for I don't know what.
but if Commissioner Babson is saying, is that you put a little note on that saying, I'm going to check on this, are you listening?
Yes, I'm listening.
Okay. He's saying that you put a note on it saying, I'm gonna be checking on this, and that's why I haven't signed it. Okay?
Yeah,
Right.
but if we're talking about, so I don't understand, Commissioner Babson said you get a phone call to come sign checks? Is that what you just mentioned?
Or I come in here, unlike you, I come in here 4 or 5 days a week, and they say, hey, we got 4 checks to sign, and they're always the same ones that you won't sign, John Reich, Michelle Clancy, Mr. Fowler, and then there's one other I can't remember. Why don't you either put on there that you're not gonna sign them, so that we don't have to chase around,
Can
or
you-
just sign them?
Can you just,
Jesus.
if you can show me which checks are not signed, so I remember what a question is or why I didn't sign it. So are you telling that you come here because you get a call and you need to sign those checks, what are not signed? Is that what you are saying?
I'm saying sometimes I'll come in the door and they'll say, we got 4 checks to sign, will you please sign them? Why
Okay.
hasn't you ask me a question, I'm gonna answer it, Commissioner. And they'll say, why? I'll say, well, what are they? And they'll say, Commissioner Kenney won't sign them, so I sign them.
Oh, okay, so because you're here, it's not that they called it, that you specially
Okay, so
come
I
to
should
the
have come and
county.
said they called.
You're
me.
here
Big
every
deal.
day. Oh,
Why don't you
okay.
just sign them when you're here, and then when there's no question whether it's a call or a visit?
The bottom line is, please put on there why you don't sign them, okay?
Yeah,
Can
I will
I
bring
ask
it
a
up.
question real quick? Are these paychecks you're talking about?
No.
What type of checks?
These are
All,
checks,
yes, they are, David, they're all checks.
well, they're all checks, but they're not payroll checks.
Okay.
They're just from
Okay.
vendors, I guess.
Okay.
They're all different.
Oh, that's right,
sometimes.
excuse me, they're not payroll checks.
They're not
Yeah,
payroll checks.
They are for.
Okay, you got another item?
The minute taker's salary.
Yes.
That was, came to light last week. I believe in one of these minutes, it was $125 plus $5 for gas. That should settle that issue. I just didn't know at the time I wrote my notes.
I think the reason why she hasn't been paid because the
We got that all straightened
person
out.
who takes care of that didn't know or didn't hear from Commissioner Kenney as to what the pay that was discussed amounted to.
There was some other issues too, but they've been taken care of as of
Okay.
this morning, right, Gail?
Yes, as far as I know, I'm on the payroll right now.
Okay, so she
Okay.
will get her check.
Okay. Any other items you got?
Nope, that's it.
That's it? You got some items?
Yes, I have a couple things here. The first one, I watched the tape, I believe it was from a couple weeks ago, that we have a writer asking about Janice Sullivan, why she got paid. And then I saw that the two commissioners, she asked if there was a vote taken and if it was anonymous. And the two commissioners said yes. I just want to say it was, if there was a vote taken, it was a majority vote. And the second thing what I have, no, I didn't write it down. Yeah, I just want to bring something up. We have, after hours here, employees staying here 6, 7 o'clock at night. And we have former employees coming, or disgruntled employees, and talking with the HR. And I just want to know what the two commissioners are saying, why it is allowed. Because we have an HR person here, is having personal records and files and all kind of confidentiality information. Why, if the business office is closed, this building is closed, that we have 6 or 7 o'clock at night, people coming here and talking with that person? And I also want to know, why is a person from the HR here 6 or 7 at night?
Point of order, please.
Go
You're
ahead.
talking about an employee
No.
in a public session on tape, and why are you doing that?
Mr. Babson.
Because I just want to know what a security is, and I want to know what the
Hold it, hold it, hold
procedures
it.
are.
Then have a meeting with that employee
Mr.
in a
Babson,
public session. for
Mr.
God's
Babson,
sake.
Commissioner Babson has the floor. Go ahead.
First of all, Mr. Chairman and Commissioner Kenney, I know nothing about anybody coming in here after hours or seeing anybody. And again, it's an accusation with no proof. Please bring the proof in and show us, Commissioner Kenney, that it's happening. I am tired of this. You do it constantly. You were gonna bring in things 4 weeks ago while you were missing meetings. 8 weeks ago, you were gonna bring something else up here about, it's just bring it in or don't talk about it.
Yes,
I
I
think-
brought it up a couple times, and I brought it up to Commissioner Sorensen also. And I even asked the former sheriff to look in it, because it was last year. And there are 2 witnesses, and so it is accurate and it is true, but nothing has been done. So I wanted to know what are the security
Well,
measures.
Let me,
I want to find out, first of all, if this is something that's happened in the last couple of weeks, or are we once again going back 2 years and bringing up
We're
an
not,
example?
we're not going to back 2 years. It
Okay, so
was-
this has happened in the last couple of weeks.
No, it was just last year. But
Well,
I
it's last
I want to
year.
bring up, what is the security? Why are we allowing this? Because nothing has happened.
If-
I
if
mean,
an
I
employee-
asked for it.
if an employee has a problem, and that problem may involve others, and they don't want anybody to see them coming in to talk with the HR person, then they can make a special appointment to come in and talk with her and lay it out as to what the issue might be. I have no problems with our employees who have a key to this building to make an appointment with another employee to come in. We need to make sure that the HR office has some credibility, that things are not being leaked out, that people feel free
Right.
to come in and
Discuss that problem.
discuss whatever their problem might be. So I have no problems with people coming in after hours, as long as somebody in that office, and they should have a key to the building, allows that to happen.
So the person who come has a key to the building, is that what you're saying?
Oh.
As long as, okay, because we have a twist again. I'm talking about former employees. So they are just allowed to come
Former-
after
former
hours?
This was
employees.
2 years ago.
Former employees, how did they get in?
If they used to work in there, if they have a key.
The
I
locks-
brought that issue a
The
couple
locks have
times
been
up.
changed. I don't see any reason why that's happening.
Maybe, when were the locks changed then?
When
Within
that
recent-
employee left, I think the one you're talking about, when that employee
When-
left,
Elects were locked.
I
they
hear
were
the-
changed.
I hear the locks will not change.
All right, bring in proof next time. What else you got?
Okay. And I have, let me see. Oh, yeah, I have something else here. We went into non-public. I don't know if it is like last week or 2 or 3 weeks, but there was an item discussed that needs to be in public. Was a money issue. a
When
pay-
when that happens, bring it up in non-public saying, hold it, this is information that should be brought in public.
Yeah,
Don't let it linger, don't let
Yeah,
it go on.
I said
Commissioner
that.
Babson does that.
Yeah, I
And
said
you can
that.
do that too.
I said that, but the person
let it
didn't
linger?
come today for public.
I let it linger.
No,
Oh, I thought that's what you
no, no,
just
no,
said.
no, no, no. When
Commissioner
something
Babson
comes
does
up
that too.
that should not be in non-public, you bring it up and
Right.
say, I don't feel comfortable talking about it.
So we could have done that if you had a problem, Commissioner Kenney, this morning, we were just in non-public, you could have brought it up.
Yep.
No, this should be brought up in public. And so the person can come back in public.
If it was
And
discussed
have
in a
that issue.
non-public meeting, Commissioner Kenney, we have to discuss it ourselves to make it public. We can't just walk in here and you say, I think this should be public, and you spit it out. That's not right, that's breaking the law. We have not
No.
decided to let it loose. And you may be right, I don't know what you're referring to, but you could do it in a non-public meeting and say this should be public, and we could say,
Right.
yes, it should.
Right.
We already talked about it and I said it needs to be public, but the
Okay.
person didn't come back to do it in public. And I didn't spill anything out because I look up the law. There are only specific reasons why you can go into non-public. And I said that item shouldn't be non-public. And it was still a whole discussed in
I would
non-public.
su-
And
I
the
would
person should
suggest that
come
you-
back in public.
That you bring it up in non-public, and that
Again?
the minute taker records your feelings that it should be made public. Then it's in the minutes, okay? All right, I got one item, and I will have it typed up. Several weeks ago, I had read off a list of short-range plans and long-range plans for the county complex. I'm going to have these typed up. I asked you at that time if you had any issues or any concerns that should be put in a short-range plan or a long-range plan. I have not received anything. I'll have these typed up and distributed to you for you to look at, to change, and we will discuss this at another work session later on.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes?
Is that the same list? I believe it was back in late January, early February that you read. I thought there were some really good suggestions on that list. You read it way back.
Yes,
when
I
we
did.
First started.
I read both
Did
of
you
them.
save that list so that we,
I've got them right here, and I'll have them typed so that you can
thank you.
look at them and make changes or additions. I mean, we need to have some plans as to where we're going, some direction that we should have.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Yep.
All right, anybody else got anything else to bring up in the work session?
No.
No?
No, thank you.
No? Then I don't have anything either. I suppose we gotta go into non-public again? I mean, to
Again?
public comment? Or are
Why
we all
not?
done?
Well, we have three lovely people here that I'm sure would like to talk.
Okay, we'll go into public comments from anybody. Yes?
The non-public notes that Commissioner Kenney has been keeping for the last 4 months, where are they stored?
I have the notes.
The question is, where are they stored?
It's stored here in the business office. I'm doing non-public, and I don't think that I'd have no comments on your questions.
No, the question is legitimate, it's where they're stored. I assume they're stored in your safe.
Yeah, I store them. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, remember, I don't have a safe, so I buy
You
my
got-
own back locks
You-
and lock it up because I asked a while ago for it for a safe, and I didn't hear anything. I asked when I was just
Have you
elected
checked
for
into
a
what the
safe.
cost of a safe would be?
No, because I need first, no, you need to approve it and said, yes, we're
No,
going
I-
to find a safe.
I would ask
And
you,
then we need to find money appropriation.
I would ask
and
you
then
at
I
this
can
point
look
in
for it.
time, since you're responsible for storage, to check and find out what size safe, get a cost, an estimate, and bring it back to us. Okay?
I can check for the
Because
safe.
the law does say that it's kept in a safe.
I'd be interested in going downstairs with Commissioner Kenney and having her take out the notes so we could take a look at them from her file
Yep.
cabinet.
Okay? You willing to do that, Commissioner Kenny?
Yep.
Okay. Any other public comments? Yes, Melissa?
Just for clarification, the notes are being stored in Commissioner Kenney's locked file cabinet, so if she runs away and never comes back, the other two commissioners will have access to them. They're here, they're in the locked file cabinet, you're gonna go downstairs and check it out. I just wanna make sure.
I have the minutes there, yes.
Okay. On the check signing, Commissioner Babson mentioned that there's routinely 4 checks that Commissioner Kenney does not sign.
Mhm.
He listed off 3 people.
You want to know the fourth one?
I said I couldn't remember the
Okay, is it
name.
regularly just the same 4, or is it every week it's something different?
It depends when the checks come in. When the manifest comes in, it isn't every week, but it's the same 4 people that don't get signed. When someone puts in for mileage, they don't put in for every week. When they put it in, it doesn't get signed.
Okay. Would Commissioner Kenney answer who the 4th one is if you don't remember?
I don't know. I get every week checks, and if I have to check up something, or if I think something is inaccurate or not right, then I will not sign it. And every week it is different, so I don't know. I don't know what I have missed, or if there is something wrong with it. I have no idea.
My comment to that would be that if you decide not to sign it, there must be a reason for you not to do that. So you should research it and find out. Commissioner Babson does it all the time. And then you can decide, I don't want to sign it because of such and such reason. All those vouchers should be initialed by the department heads. And if they initial it, then they are held accountable for it. It should be in their budget, and so forth.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I would guess that consistently we sign 30 checks a week, maybe more.
At least.
I don't want to leave the impression that when I go over to talk to people that there's a whole bunch of checks. There's probably only 4 or 5 that I see that as I get more acclimated, you recognize the company, so they tell you. But generally speaking, that the supervisor or the director has a real good answer for why the check is what it is, and I don't want to leave the impression that they're just going hog wild. There's always a good answer. Occasionally, they'll say, yeah, you're right, we'll take a look at it, but usually it's...
What you're looking for is clarification.
Yes.
To make sure that it was properly done. Okay, then can I hear a motion to adjourn today's meeting?
Yep.
Oh,
Mr.
you
Brown?
got something, Mr. Brown?
Yes, give Commissioner Babson his kickback.
Is what?
You stated that the 91A suit was dismissed and that was gonna cost the taxpayers money. Would it be more accurate that the parties came to an agreement of some sort, that maybe the 91As in the suit at some point were provided, and therefore the suit wouldn't go forward necessarily, because basically, even though after the requirements of the RSA being either 5 days for public or 72 hours for non-public, that they at some point were fulfilled, and therefore if the case didn't move forward, or because you clearly stated that the case was the way you said it, it sounded like the court dismissed the case because of the parties not...
The parties came to an agreement and the court apparently agreed with it. That's all the information I have.
Okay, well, that's clearly something different than what you stated before, that the case was dismissed.
Mr. Brown, I'd just like to correct one thing. I believe you said Commissioner Babson when you started your talk.
Yes, I have your tick here again, Commissioner Babson.
So what?
Your tick?
Oh, okay.
It's bad.
I just want to let you know it wasn't me. It was not
It was
I.
me.
You got another tick?
Yes.
Oh, God.
We'll kill it.
Drown it.
All right, Ed, last question, or last comment.
When you calculate, the commissioners get mileage, correct?
Yep.
Do you just total it in one lump sum, or do you actually have it delineated why you're coming down here and the days?
Yep.
So each day you have
Yep.
it?
Yes.
Yep.
So if somebody requested that list, it'll show
Yep.
date, your mileage, date.
Yep.
Yep.
Does it say why?
Commissioners meeting,
That's all it says.
delegation meeting, hearing, whatever.
So it is specific, so you never leave it
Well,
blank and just,
maybe general in that at commissioners meeting, a lot of discussion may take place,
okay,
or a hearing, or whatever. Yep,
okay, thank you.
yep, it's available for anybody.
And don't bother 91A for me on mileage yet, because I don't take any.
Thank you.
That
for
was my
clearing that
question,
up.
and if Babson was still not
Okay.
taking mileage.
Commissioner Babson, he took mileage when he was a state rep, but I don't think he said he's not taking as a commissioner.
That's incorrect. I didn't take mileage as a state rep either.
No, you did take mileage as a state
Become
rep
the
because I had to
delegation,
sign the checks.
I
I
don't
signed the
mind.
checks where you were a state
Commissioner
rep.
Kenney, I would like to see a check that you signed that shows
Yeah.
any more than $25.
No, you took mileage, it said,
Now,
I
you keep
believe
saying
it
that,
was-
bring it in
it
and
was-
show me.
It was $3.30.
Is
Bring
that,
it, bring it in, bring it in.
Bring it in.
Okay?
is that due to your electric car?
To my electric car, Ed, and it's downhill from my house, so
Electric car.
I can put it in neutral.
All right, Mr. Brown, this is it, one more.
Okay, I have the mileage from 2008, 9, and 10, and not all of the mileage has the purpose of what the mileage was paid for.
Really?
What does it say then?
There's
Some
a
of them
what?
have nothing, just,
Nothing?
Mean it was blank?
no, it means that, on 9/11/09, there was a $121 payment for mileage, but no reason.
That's
So it was left blank?
That
Is
should
what
be
you're
Well,
saying.
something.
blank as far as the explanation for the mileage, but
Yeah.
there's a cost there, the date and how much was paid out.
Well, that's the big-
On
Well,
the
there
fact.
should have been a reason. There's a line right there to put in your
There's-
reason for
yeah.
it. Purpose, I think it
Where
says.
they go, if it is traveling or.
I wrote them all down, and
Oh, okay.
so,
There should be something in because.
I
you
mean,
need to-
I'm gonna, there's probably, I would say, from looking at them here, I would say half, maybe a little more than half, but I think it would be inaccurate to say that each mileage line, there is an explanation
All
to
right,
that.
can you tell me whether any of those are mine?
Where are you? Let me see. Sorensen. Yes, well, from my notes, and hopefully
And what were the dates?
this would be, 109, 209, 309, 609, and 709.
109, 209, and 709?
09.
And in those expense accounts, there was blank lines.
That's right, I wrote down beside each one where there was an explanation. And then for you, Mr. Sorensen, I have also 210, 310, April, May, and July and August and September. And December,
Of what year?
2010.
All right,
No, there's some, there was,
I'll go back through them.
he went to Concord on that one, 2 Primex, Mount Washington, Concord, North Conway Hotel.
What do we need security cameras for? We got Mr. Brown.
Yeah, hire 'em.
All right, I accept the motion to adjourn.
All in favor? I'll second it.
11:28.
All those in support of the motion say aye.
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 So voted.